Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Calmsden Farm. This is episode number 2, and I'm going to punch my time up here just a bit. We are in the same game day that we were in for game day or for episode number 1, and we did, between myself and Sid, we managed to get, between all the deer jumping out in front of us and everything, we did manage to get this field number 3, harvested of barley. That equaled, and I'm not, considering that this field had no fertilization, needed to be plowed, might have had some weeds in it. I can't remember. Certainly wasn't up to snuff as far as our standards under how Mr. Thornton wants things to operate around here. We still got 93,000 liters of barley off this field, so certainly nothing to sneeze at there. And also managed to collect 40 bells, or to bell 40 bells, I should say. We have not collected all 40 bells, but we are in the process of doing that, and we're just going to get this done here, and then we're going to head to the other field number 4, I believe it is, just next door to us, and we're going to start getting the wheat off that field because, as I had indicated in episode number 1, we are going to play. We are going to play um, 2 game days per month, so 6 game days per season. But that does not take effect, ladies and gentlemen, until the next month. So when you first land in the game and the map, you're going to be in August like I am, and you're going to have, for this map in particular, in the fields that you're going to own to start out with, unless you buy some additional fields that have crop already on them, you're going to have barley and wheat that's going to be ready to go, ready to collect, harvest. But if you don't get that harvested, both fields, in the month of August, even if you change your game days per month to 2, as I did, you are going to basically lose a harvest if you don't get both of those done in the same game day. So just food for thought for you. So I gave you the particulars as far as how much barley we got off there. Let's just run down because we are just very, very close. Mr. Thornton we'll hop this hedgerow here. Mr. Thornton is going to get us a John Deere Gator of some sort so that we can run around a little bit quicker without having to actually wear the soles of the bottom of our boots out in the process, which isn't bad because I've managed, since I've been here in England, working for Mr. Thornton again, I've managed to lose a little bit of weight, which is not certainly a bad thing. So one of the projects that I've got Sid working on, he's not going to physically do this, but he is working and has been in touch with a guy that knows another guy, from what I understand. And these guys are going to buy this old straw from us. This was left over from a couple of years ago. This farm lay pretty much derelict for a couple of years, and Mr. Thornton swooped in after he got done running the pub and wanted to move out here to this area. He came out here, and I'm looking for my tractor and tipper that's supposed to be here, and he is over here. I wonder if is he blocked by this one? Let's just move this guy out of the way. This our JCB tractor tipper is supposed to be carting for us, and it looks like he was a bit confused because of the old Finn, and I'm stuck. So here we are. We're back at the place here where I was talking about. So Sid's working with that guy of a guy that knows a guy that knows another guy, and I don't know how many different guys they all know. But anyway, we're going to sell this straw. They're going to use it for compost or something. And we've got another shed down by the chickens We've got another shed down by the chickens that is just chock full of junk. And he's also going to sell that as scrap as well. And so we're going to get that done so that we can put our fresh straw in here. Now, of the 40 bales of straw that I managed to collect, and let me get a drink of coffee because it's early in the morning here. Of the 40 bales of straw that we collected off of field number 3, um, we sold everything but what we just picked up off the ground. So I think that was about 5 or 6 bales, 7 bales, something like that, that we collected off the ground and still on our bale stacker. So we will be keeping all of the bales that are going to come off the wheat field. We're going to keep those. We're going to store those here so that we have that available to us to feed the cows. And we are leaving a straw swath, so that is good. And let's go ahead and turn this guy on and get started harvesting field number 5. Is that field number 5? Field number 6. I'm sorry, I mislabeled my tipper point. I guess my old eyes saw that little blue 6 in the field and thought that looked like a 5. So, oh well. I don't know if I can edit that and change that, but in any event, we are on field number 6 harvesting wheat. And wanted to thank everyone for watching the first episode. The first episode view numbers after one day of being uploaded to YouTube, not even a full day of being uploaded to YouTube and active and everything, are quite impressive for from my channel, and very much appreciated. And I also believe my subscriber count went up a couple of ticks there, so much appreciated and welcome very much to the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel and to the Grizzly Bear Sims family. I appreciate you. I appreciate you clicking subscribe, and I appreciate all my subscribers, and I hope that everyone is enjoying the content here on the channel. So we're just gonna put a headland in, at least 2, and then that way maybe we can do some up and downs, one direction or the other. And yeah, so two episodes back to back, kind of doing the same thing, but again, I believe I shared or tried to express the importance of getting the wheat done and the barley done all in the same game day. And then once we change over to the month of September, we will be following our 2 game day per month process, and that will, oops, that deer almost got caught up in the combine, but that will give us a little bit more flexibility to where we don't have to worry about getting crops harvested all in the same game day if we wanted to. I kind of explained in the first episode that I was going to do things a little different, maybe some embedded time lapses and stuff like that. We'll kind of see how that goes. I don't think that there will be one in this video, and I don't know how frequently I will use stuff like that. I really, to be honest, in the history of my channel, I've only really done a few. I would say I've probably produced 5. Well, I think at one time I had 500 videos, so I would say I'm getting closer to 600 now, probably, that I've produced on the channel. And I have probably used the embedded time-lapse function, where I'm just spending about 5 minutes or so of video time, crunching through about 15 minutes or so of actual recording time. I've only done that a small handful of times, and I don't think I've ever made a video that was just 100% time lapse. I just don't really. Me personally, I like to tune in to YouTube channels, and I watch who I watch on a regular basis, and I like to hear I like to hear you talk. I like to hear your dialogue and what's going on. And I do understand. I do understand the reasoning for. I do understand the reasoning um, for time lapses. I certainly do. But it's just not something that It's just not something I do a whole lot of. So hopefully he will come around. I should have probably called him a little bit before. Many of the same little quirks and such still exist with auto drive and everything. And as you can see, and it's in the real world, it's Friday morning. It's Friday morning, and it's the 21st, I believe. If that's a Friday, then it's the 21st of January, and version 21.21 of Courseplay came out this morning, and as we can see, we've got a little bit of we've got a graphic, or kind of a dialogue box, if you will, with Courseplay's new logo and everything in it, basically stating that we're in the Triumph 720. And if you click that, it brings up a menu. I think this was Courseplay's effort on appeasing some of the folks that were basically saying you took, you changed the HUD completely, and come on now, you changed the HUD completely, and we kind of like that, but we also like the way that you've embedded the functions into the game, into the base game controls. But we also like having something on the screen that kind of told us what we were doing and how we were doing it, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm guessing that that's what they are attempting to try to do, is answer those demands. So one of the things that I have been noticing with, and I got Courseplay and Auto Drive working yesterday, physical day, my time, my day. I got it working with what I was doing over on field number 3, harvesting the barley. And I would notice that if I did not stop, the JCB would not come all the way up. He would keep up with me, but he was about 2 feet, 3 feet or so away from my pipe. He was behind. He would not come up and get under the pipe. And of course, the other little challenge is that, okay, if I stopped driving the combine, he stopped, and then if I would back up, he would back up. And so I don't know. Those are both in-game pieces of equipment. So the Kloss tipper and the JCB are both in-game. So I don't know if it's. I don't know. That I didn't have that problem per se on Elm Creek with the equipment that we were using there. So I don't know if it's just something that is related to. I don't know if it's just something that's related to that particular tractor, that particular tipper. I don't know, but I did manage, and I was quite pleased with myself. If I'm honest, let me grab a screen print here while we are right here next to the cows, and we'll just kind of do something like this here and grab a screenshot. I was quite impressed with myself yesterday, because I did manage to get Auto Drive to essentially back up the. If you know about the layout of the farm here, you have your silo on the farm over there. The grate, the input, is behind a door that you can open and close. So you have to back into it, is what I'm trying to say. And I was quite pleased with myself, because it did take a couple of tries, but I managed to get it to basically get it where it works, and it Auto Drive backs in there just fine and doesn't cause any problems and doesn't wreck the the tipper and the trailer and all that kind of stuff. So I was quite impressed with that because I was a little worried. I knew auto drive could handle backing up, but you've got to kind of back up. I've always been of the belief that with these tools, with these AI sort of automated work function tools, I've always sort of been of the mindset that you need to do everything in your power, do everything that you can do to make it as easy as possible on your AI driver. In other words, make nice wide turns, make slight slow turns when you're recording courses, create headlands for the AI guy, even like seeding. Sometimes we would, in the real world, you would not seed your headlands first; those would be done last. But if you're going to use AI, unless you use Courseplay, because Courseplay can better accommodate putting headlands down and doing them either first or last or whatever. But if you're just going to use the regular in-game default AI and you don't put headlands in and you're working even on a square field, but you've got a fence line or you've got trees or whatever that's somewhat in the way, you're going to cause yourself some problems and a lot of headaches because the AI is going to end up in the trees, on the fence, whatever, or maybe even in the next field like we saw in Elm Creek many episodes ago. So you kind of have to do a little bit of extra work, a little bit of extra effort. So when I was thinking about how I was going to set up AI to be able to handle the backing up into the dump point for the silo, I'm thinking, okay, if I had the room, obviously I would position the tractor and the tipper as straight as possible to the opening of the barn, the opening of the shed. But that's not possible because you've got a rock wall that basically is just on the other side of the street. So you really are having to back and turn into the doorway. And the first thing I tried, because I knew that it doesn't matter. You don't need the trailer on the back of the tractor to be able to record a course, to be able to record the reversing course. You can actually do it with just the tractor, and it's a heck of a lot easier that way. But the first time I tried it, even though I made sure that I had a nice sweeping turn and everything, it still caused some problems, and it didn't work. Basically, the tractor backed the tipper into the side of the door. And then I tried it a couple of times, backing the trailer into the opening with the trailer on the tractor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you've watched my YouTube channel for any length of period of time, my backing is not the best in the world. It's not the worst in the world. It's not the best in the world, and it goes downhill if I'm talking at the same time. It's just something that has always kind of been the case with me. But I struggled, and even though I could get it in without touching the side of the doors, it just wasn't working. So finally, almost ready to give up and say, okay, well, I'm at least going to not try this again today. I'm going to wait. I'll do it when I'm fresh tomorrow and try to record this or try to set this up again. I managed to make it work, and it's clean. It looks good. I'm proud of it. But I hadn't been pulling far enough up before I started my reversing maneuver, and so I went ahead and made sure that I was that I had pulled far enough forward to make sure that everything was straight as possible, that the tractor and the tipper was straight, parallel with each other, and then began the backing maneuver, and then turning and doing it very slowly, and it worked out. And it worked out well, and it's basically going to be able to, I was able to use that same course for this field as well. So that's good stuff. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. We're 20 minutes in, and we've got a little bit more time that we can do things now. I don't know if he's going to go back to the main farm or if he's just going to go over there and sit and wait for us. Um, but in any event, he's going to do whatever I guess he wants to do. We'll be ready to start doing some up and downs here in just a moment. And yeah, so looking forward to Sid getting that stuff sold and moved out of there. I'm guessing they're going to use that old straw as compost or something or another. It's not really suitable. What I told Mr. Thornton was I really didn't want to use something that has been set there in the weather, um, and everything basically dirty and just moldy and whatever. I didn't want to use that in the farm in the new operation because it just doesn't, it's just not right. And so he agreed, and we bought some straw just to tide us over because again we haven't really done anything. He spun this farm back up with some contract folks because he wasn't going to bother necessarily calling me over because he thought I was living the life of luxury on some farm somewhere and wouldn't want to come back to jolly old England. And the contractors basically stopped working, and it's just been a difficult challenge for him. And he's like, Jerry, I need you back over here. Are you available? Are you free to basically come over and help me out? And I'm like, yes. I expressed to him that I did have a couple of requests. I wanted to basically make sure that we had all the right equipment to be able to do this type of work with, and I wanted to make sure that I could get the kind of help that I needed because I needed reliable people. If you're going to say that you're going to show up for work in the morning, I certainly want you to be here and I want you to be ready to go because I'm going to beat you in most of the time unless there's something else going on, and I want you here and want you ready to work and put in a full day's work and maybe even then some. And so I knew that the guys that I had used before that were still working over on Thornton Farm, by the way. But of course, that farm has grown and it has expanded even larger than it was when I was running the show over there. And so they're at a point, Sid and Smithy were at a point to where that essentially they could leave because they've got folks in that are sort of in supervisory capacities and lead type capacities. They know what they're doing, and so Mr. Thornton agreed to go ahead and allow me to have access to those two guys, and that's what we're gonna work with, and it's gonna be this map. I'm gonna end this episode with some thoughts about this map from what I've experienced, and I've got about 7 hours in this map. That includes the setup, the little bit of setup time, the completing the harvesting, completing the baling, and all of that kind of stuff. But I've got about six or 7 hours, I think, in this map, and I absolutely love it. And it has, it's brought back so many fond memories of playing Culborough Park Farm, playing Thornton Farm for me in previous versions of Farm Sim. I know that folks in the community are a little are perhaps maybe a little bit at odds with Calmsden Farm because as it kind of as it sets, you're not really able to sell. You can sell like the cow barn. You can sell the chicken facility. You can sell the horse paddock and things like that. But you can't do a whole lot with buildings. You can't really, if you wanted to farm on this map and you wanted to say, well, I love the map as it is. I like the fields. and everything, but I want to essentially demolish that cow pasture over there and then get rid of the other sheds and stuff like that. You you can't do that. And there's some people that are maybe upset about that. Maybe that's the correct word to use, is they're upset about that. Keep in mind, and this is what I like about maps like this. This is what I liked about Culborough Park Farm. This is what I like, and absolutely like, and excited about with Calmsden Farm, is these are based on real world locations. If you pull up this area on Google Maps, you will see that the main farm area over there that we have set up looks identical to the way it does on Google Maps. The the two silos that are set next to the road that we have liquid fertilizer in, those are there in the real world. Um, and everything is as close, the field layout, everything is Google Earth imposed, and how that is set up. And for me, because of the fact that I consider OxygenDavid to be an artist. I mean, he's what he has created is a masterpiece in Farm Sim 22. And I wouldn't go to an art exhibit and buy something that has been painted by an artist and then take it home and start, changing the colors of the paint and stuff like that. And so while I believe that some maps possibly should have the features to be able to change and allow us, the game players, to kind of define how we want things, And I will say that yes, this is one of the big arguments with the Giants base game map. As much as I love and as highly as I've spoken of Elm Creek, Giants putting all of those sheds, the barns, even though I've been able to make a storyline out of it. It would have been nice if those things would have been functional. If you could have used the barn that I turned into a B&B, or if we could, use the other barn that's kind of out there next to our main farmyard. But you can't. But yet these sheds and these buildings are all usable. The shed that's right across the street from the dairy over there, we can open that up. We can put things in. We will probably stack some stuff in there, some equipment maybe. But I think that there are some maps that should come out that should give you the ability to change things. Maps that aren't based on necessarily places in the real world, and you sort of play those the way that the map author intended them to be played to a certain extent. And then there are those maps like this map that that isn't customizable, so not every map can be, this exact same thing and give you the ability to just completely wipe away everything that the map creator put in for you and change things around. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Me personally, until Farm Sim 22 came along, I was never really good at kind of designing my own farm area, because I didn't really have the imagination, and the tools and everything available in Farm Sim 19 were not as good as 22. I've been able to place things a lot easier and better in Farm Sim 22 than I was able to do in Farm Sim 19. And we made a pretty nice looking farmyard on Elm Creek, I think, and we put down the greenhouses and other things like that. But I've always just kind of liked to be able to come into a map like Calmsden here, and with the exception of maybe making some substitutions on equipment, essentially playing it the way that OxygenDavid designed it, the way it is based in real life, and just losing myself here in this part of England, in the Cotswolds, and just losing myself and enjoying everything that the game has to offer, and of course interacting with you all as I go about doing it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's my thoughts on those topics. and I hope that you all have a very wonderful day. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for watching my videos, for being subscribers, for liking, commenting, and all that good stuff. Please continue to do that. If just a reminder, if you are new to my channel, I will tell you that I am also the owner of simplysafemods.com. Simplysafemods.com, you'll find a link to that mod hosting website down in the bottom. We are a very special mod hosting website in the fact that we do not go out looking for mods. Mods come to us. We have a small handful of about maybe 17, 18 mod creators, mod authors that utilize simplysafemods.com. We get our mods directly from them. They are hosted on our own servers. We don't require registration. We don't throttle download speeds. We run security on the website to ensure that our downloads are clean and that the site is running fast and everything at all times. And that is that. And also, if you look at grizzlybearsims.com, which is my online web presence for my YouTube social media stuff, if you see a mod that I'm using, I have a mod spreadsheet. If you click on information and then click on the link for the add-ons directory, it'll take you to a Google spreadsheet, and then you can look at the bottom and click the tab for the simulation-based game that you're looking for mods or add-ons for, and I've got those in going back to Farm Sim 15, 17, 19, and of course 22. Now, I can't guarantee that the links will be accurate for the older versions of Farm Sim. I don't routinely check those. Once I move on to a new version, then I kind of consider that to be, that's sort of static, so your mileage may vary as far as looking for the mods for those particular older titles. Again, thank you all so much for watching. It is very much appreciated. I am sorry I've gone over our 30-minute mark. I will try to do better off camera. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I will get this build and put away, or if I will do this on episode 3, but I think maybe 2 episodes is enough for this game day. So I think I will go ahead and bell this, get this stacked in the barn after Sid gets that junk moved out of there, because of the guys that he knows, the guy of a guy of a guy of a guy. And then we will, when we come back together, most likely we will be in September, and we will be ready to cut some grass. We'll be ready to do some grass work. We've got sheep, we've got cows, and they need grass, hay, and silage, and we're going to be getting those chores done. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you all right back here on Calmsden Farm or over on my other map, Elm Creek, very, very soon. Take care. Bye for now.